Welcome back to continue our program looking at the resiliency of youth. Joining me now is Candas Bullock, the principal at TRAICE Academy. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, in our first segment, as you know, we talked to Orlando Hawkins about his experiences and how he got to TRAICE and sort of the marvelous experiences that he had. I want to pick up with you in terms of what you recall when Orlando did come into TRAICE. How did he enter into that environment? Was he very timid, very reserved, very standoffish? Because as he said, he thought nothing good was going to happen here. Pick up for me there in terms of how he came in and how he progressed.
He arrived with his mother, and it was obvious that mother was pleased that he was back in school so he could continue with his education. And you could tell this is what he wanted, but he was extremely reserved. He was very quiet, always respectful, but he was reserved because he was uncertain of the lay of the land.
Right.
And I think a lot of this stemmed from the first year of TAC, when it was TAC in its inception, and he was judging it based on what he'd seen in the media.
Okay, and at that time, for people that may not realize that, before TRAICE sort of came into its being, there were some sort of unsettling things that were happening at that alternative school, that kids were not getting what they were need, overcrowding, different issues like that. So what you're saying is he had heard all that, of course, and that was part of his expectation that nothing has gotten any better.
Yes.
Okay, so he came in, he's really on the reserve. How did you begin to work with him? Because like you said, you could see that he was very respectful. He wanted to learn. He wanted to get an education and complete his education. How did you pick up on those things and begin to challenge him and move him forward?
I think many of the children, when they come in, most of them have made an unwise choice or a mistake oftentimes, and they come in and they know who they are, and they might have experienced some regret, but they also know that they are capable of things, but their fear of that they might be perceived as being a thug or a criminal just by the nature of being at TRAICE. And so what we do is every time that a new student comes in, they have to attend the day before, after school, an orientation with their parent. And at that time, we discuss what TRAICE has to offer. We explain the expectations, we explain what will be required, and we explain that it is still a school and we expect them to consider it a school. So as time goes by, and we have a cap on how many people can attend. 60 on the high school side, 60 on the middle school side. So it's really a small environment, and at this environment, we see them regularly. It's not like a traditional or a more comprehensive high school where you have 400 to 1,500 kids in it.
Right.
We have a total of 120 in the whole building. So we are constantly in contact, and we can see when people are standoffish, a little reserved, and I often tell all of the students, you know, how happy you are here is you determine this.
Okay, let me ask this question, because you talked about being small and you sort of are monitoring the kids. So is this, with the type of alternative school that you have, if kids still need some counseling support, or the family does, is the school able to accommodate that and reach out in that way?
We're very fortunate. We have guidance counselors, of course, on high school and middle school side. And one of our guidance counselors is a licensed counselor, one is a licensed social worker. We also have some of the agencies. Many of the children are already involved in counseling, and their agencies come to the site as needed, but we also offer through the positive behavior intervention services in our building, plus Creoaks Counseling. It's an agency within Tulsa that comes in, and parents are able to sign up for that counseling. They will come in, do an intake with parent. The counselors will go to the home and do the intake if parents are unavailable and can't travel to the school. We have wraparound services that will support the family, so they provide not only counseling for the student, counseling for the parent, but they will do family counseling. So this is available. We also have Palmer Drug comes in once a day and gives motivational speaking, and also assists those students that might have substance abuse issues that are problems there. But again, they perceive all alternative as TRAICE or formally tagged. In alternative schools, we have a host of different programs within the district to assist young people.
Okay.
And the great thing about alternative, it gets away from that one-size-fits-all and
what
away from that traditional method.
Exactly.
Every child does not fit that traditional learning method.
Exactly.
And last year we entered in with what is called Big Picture Schools, and their concept is one student at a time.
Excellent.
So we look at one student at a time. It doesn't matter what other students are doing. We look at how to help one student at a time.
And based on the services that you're saying are available, it shows that, because you're looking also at the comprehensive model of the child and the family unit, whatever that looks like for that child, and helping support, because sometimes if we only look at the child and not look at where do they go back to in terms of the home and other issues, whatever you're doing here is not going to be as effective. But when you incorporate the whole, then you really do have that safety net and support system for the child, because the family is also being strengthened.
Exactly. Orlando is an extremely bright young man, and he has those support systems. But many of our students do not have those support systems in place. And many of our parents are wanting their children to be successful, but they don't have the tools to assist their children.
Okay. Now, he talked about you helping him to become a page to get that kind of experience. Do alternative schools do that? Do they really help kids look at career kinds of expanding things or job opportunities? I mean, that's part of it too?
There is a wealth of things in alternative schools that we can offer to children. Again, part of the Big Picture program is the advisory component, where we're big picture inspired, which means we have certain components on it. The other alternative schools have advisors that work with them on looking at what they're interested in, what are their career goals, and establishing their curriculums based upon their interests. So we're providing authentic learning for these children. They can go out and get mentors. We have people that they go out and they learn about that career, and then the curriculum and the instruction is based upon that area of interest. What math will you need? What science will you need? And it's still geared toward helping them be successful upon the state mandated testing.
Okay.
Orlando has done extremely well right now. He is, and we do it on a case-by-case basis. We look at what children and how successful they are, these young people are. Right now, he is in an advisory and doing a mentorship. So he came, he got into the credit recovery, caught up on his credits. So he has an advisor, and he's doing a mentorship with Walgreens.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me, Orlando's jobs, Maze.
Okay.
But he's working regularly. He's coming to school. He's learning career skills, and that's what it's about. And we involve the whole family.
That's excellent.
The advisor calls regularly with parents, so we're working collaboratively as a team.
Okay.
And you know, if you think back, we did that many years ago. We are not separate units in educating children. So we have social services involved, we have counseling services involved, we have mentors involved within the building. So it's that whole village working to educate these children.
Excellent. And I'm going to tell our viewers now to stay with us, because our next segment we're going to talk with Marvin Blaze, who's the president of 100 Black Men, who's one of those mentor organizations that's working in our schools. Thank you so very much.
No,
and thank you for
you.
your hard work and effort.
Well, we're glad we get to put the news about the great thing that TPS is doing with all its alternative program, School Innovations.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back.